Perfectly understand as we are on a journey that's to digitization, to ensure that all sectors of the economy are largely digitized and also embedding the science and technology. We need to ask ourselves one question: do we really know what we are getting into? Do we know what are the priority sectors? Welcome to this episode of Smart Tech This Week. I'm Andrew Barija, your host, and today we are discussing the dynamics of innovation. Like getting to understand, before you innovate as an innovator right there, what are those perspectives that you should put into consideration before you put the innovations out there? Because at the end of the day, we need to create relevancy. We need to ensure that what we create is very relevant to our nation. We need to make sure that we are solving problems. So today we want to really understand what are the core factors, what are those core elements in this economy, what are those areas in this economy that really need massive innovation, and also understanding the aspect of the dynamics of innovation, looking at the current economic status in Uganda. That and more coming up.
Much as the country is trying to pursue full digitization in the different sectors, there is still questions to be answered. Despite exposure and funding, quite a number of factors, I think, need to be embedded in understanding the surrounding environment. We should seek relevancy for what we create. Are we really solving problems? In pursuit for these answers, I had to reach out to Peter Alvin at the WIMEA Lab in Makerere University, as they have put themselves apart to solve challenges faced by farmers in the different sectors through technology. What do we need to address in the first place?
Well, besides the unemployment and among the youths and all that, of course we have the health challenges. The country is grappling with overcoming the after effects of COVID-19 and the lockdown worldwide and also in Uganda. And now we have the Ebola outbreak. Certainly, there could be something interesting in the health sector, basically. And for me, it's about working together with the government, the Ministry of Health, to preach the gospel of health living. It is when COVID came that people began dieting, you know. People are thinking of, how do I, shed off extra pounds of my body? How do I stay fit? Because COVID threatened our health. So the Ministry of Health has done well in preaching the gospel, wearing your masks, social distancing. And for me right now, looking at technology, we could push it further, because technology has come with advantages where the information is availed. It's just a tap away on your smartphone and you have the information with you. For example, I could think of an innovator coming up with, there are already apps there, apps that could bring pop-up messages. For example, when you visit certain sites today, pop-up messages would come for you to bet. Bet with us today and make extra monies. Could we have health information popping up like that on your phone? Say, have you put on your mask today? It's something that, someone can come up with an app and it can reproduce this when you visit a certain site and pop-up messages come. So since health is wealth, without health, you could do all the businesses you want and all the plans, but when your health is threatened, then the country is gone. The people in the country are gone, basically. So really right now, innovation should be more in the health sector because of what we are grappling with, COVID.
Students should think more into the health sector and the agricultural sector, because this is where the actual people are facing problems, the community problem. Because in our villages, you find that we don't have enough resources in the health sector. So if you are to develop your mobile app, maybe you want to help pregnant women locate the nearest hospital. So you're trying to solve something that could actually help them. Or you want to develop a mobile app for a farmer to be able to sell his products. So that's also something they should look more into the health sector and the agricultural sector?
Well, a young innovator today think about what is going on in our country and how you can be able to provide a solution. Are you bringing, if you are innovating and you're bringing a product or you're going to offer a service, you're from campus and you're thinking through your options, what needs are you addressing? Are they pressing needs to the society? Is it something you can do? Is there something you can do to help the society out there, to help a community overcome a certain problem? So basically, it's about the needs in society at that given time or currently in Uganda. Of course, we are faced with high rates of unemployment. We know that the youths in this country, 70% of our population is youths. The age between 0 years and 35, and that's where the majority of our population is. So we need to be able to bring up ideas or services or products that are giving these people hope and helping them. For example, creating jobs for them so that they earn a living and they don't deteriorate into becoming a problem to society. Yeah, so to a young innovator, look at how you can provide systems or provide jobs, create slots where people can earn a living.
Okay, we have now been able to understand what really needs ultimate attention in regards to future developments. But what next after? Is it about developers rapidly birthing new ideas?
The other day, President was speaking about reminding us, giving us a refresher course about social distancing and wearing masks and sanitizing. I would tell you that pushing the youths to start business would not actually solve the problem of unemployment, because you're pushing someone to do something that they did not have plan about. I was reading a report, and since you're a journalist, you could go and read it, by the Guardian paper. It came out on the 16th Feb 2016. You could go and do some more reading about it. And they were quoting Uganda as the number one ranked country and in being entrepreneurial, in starting up businesses and all that. But statistics have it that only 10% of those businesses in Uganda survive in the first year. So Ugandans are not really lazy people. They're not really lazy people. When you tell them, "Chino chechikola, this is what works," they will go and start it. But sustaining it, you go back and visit, why am I starting this business? Because I'm poor, I need money, I need to earn a living. But beyond that, once the money begins trickling in, then the risks, the health hazards, the taxes, everything begins coming in, and someone feels like they are engrossed with all this and they cannot sustain the business after the first year. So for me, I would really think an innovator right now, beyond addressing the needs, should think of how am I going to sustain this that I'm bringing up. If I'm bringing up a web application, for example, we have had mobile applications helping different sectors, the transport sector, safe border. If you're looking for a border right now, you may not need to go to the streets. Just tap onto your phone and you access the safe border, and you'll have a transport service come close to you. So for me, technology has really helped our country to extend services to the people, just close to the people. But beyond that, how are we sustaining it? Recently, the largest supermarkets are closing in our country because of the debt burden and all that. So sustainability is really important to an innovator right now. Think long term, think 5 years. If I'm bringing up a mobile app right now to extend a service, for example, to extend the Ministry of Health's information. If I was to open right now and say, "Andrew, have you put on your mask right now?" and I have a pop-up message, what is the cost of having that message on my phone each time I load data? What is the cost of sustaining that application over 5 years, over 10 years, over 15 years? So sustainability, sitting down and counting the cost to an innovator, it would really be important to think long term.
Well noted. Sustainability concept. There is a concept that attributes Uganda's limited sustainability of innovations to their inability to solve painful society problems. Should we rather focus on sustainability plans before implementation? Or solving a society challenge will create demand, which in return will be attributed to sustainability?
Well, that could work, but sometimes demand can do so much, but it's not enough. When COVID had just come 2 years ago and the country was on lockdown, guess the first business that opened up, the sanitizer business. People have made sanitizers, the fake ones and the real ones. Now it's hard to really separate because most of our startup businesses in Uganda are informal. In order to dodge the taxes and because when you register the company, you're going to be tasked to pay for what they call the S mark or the Q mark, the standard, the business standards in Uganda. So in order to dodge that, someone will stay informal. So you will not, there will be no standard on the product. So, but beyond that, what is the assurance that in 2 years' time, my mask business will still be there? My sanitizer business will be there.
The government is positive in regards to digitization and adaptation of tech-related trends, but this can't be a one-man's task.
What the government has done to embrace technology, that we could have Zoom meetings in Parliament. That's an example that, you know what, the government has embraced this movement, the information age and the coming of technology. Surely there is an attempt to embrace it. Whereas there remains room for improvement, and there is so much that the government could do in partnership, of course, with the population, with us, the Ugandans. I really think they have done well in embracing it. What they could do better is to subsidize for accessing the data bundles. I'll tell you that in some countries, internet is almost free. Almost free. Everywhere you go, in every mall, shopping mall in the developing countries, in the developed countries, there is free Wi-Fi. So if you want the people to access your information online using technology, then the means of access should really be easily accessible. There is no wrong in all government parastatals having free Wi-Fi, because government parastatals are public places. So where I go to get services. If I'm going to the passport office, going to get my driving license, I should be able to access that information on their website using their Wi-Fis, free of charge, because it's a public. Really, right now, internet should be a public good in order for us to fully embrace the movement of technology in our country, because it's through the Internet of Things, the networking of things, that we get the information we need. If I go to the Ministry of Health and then I'm not able to access internet from there, I don't have the bundles yet, they are either used up or they are expired by the internet service provider, I should be able to access free Wi-Fi at the ministry. That's just an example, a layman's example, surely. I should be able to access information or the internet free of charge, and they can remind me to put on my mask. How many meters are you seated to the person next to you? Just reminding people that COVID is here. For example, the health. I'm concentrating on the health because that's what we're really grappling with right now as a country, to overcome the COVID after effects, and also Ebola is now here. And so we don't know what will come up next in January 2023.
Getting towards that level, because the government actually is trying to fund more of these student projects, and not even the government, even outside companies like Google, through they have sort of projects that are planned, like they organize projects or competitions where students come up with ideas and they're able to innovate them to solve some of the real world problems. Yeah, this is mainly, like for example in Makerere at the MIC Hub, students are encouraged to create teams and solve some of the challenges that Google has identified. And it's a very good thing, and I think with time this could help us. Innovation, I think it's a very good thing, and I would encourage more and more youth to get more into it. It's not something that is difficult, it's something that is actually much more easy, and the more the youths get into it, this technology is going to help us solve a lot of real-world problems in our communities, in most of the sectors of health, education, and many others.
In Uganda, of course, innovation basically to me is having a new perspective, having another perspective of a product. It could be a service that somebody is offering. It could be a product out there. Just having another perspective about it, or having customers could get products and they could look through them and they're like, this could also work somewhere else. So to me, basically innovation is having a new or a different perspective about a service or about a product. Yeah, basically bringing something on market, something new. It could be the same product, but bringing something new out of it that could help and could be relevant to the society at a given time. Yes. Last week, I happened to be in conversation in some WhatsApp group, and we were discussing children and parents having our children access our phones. And one parent was asking, how often does your child access your phone? And what do they find in your phone? Are those discussions healthy for them? And one parent was like, no, technology has provided a solution. You could have what they call apps lock, where you can lock the apps. When this child accesses your phone, they can only see what you've allowed them to see. This was unheard of 15 years ago, where there were no smartphones, and when your child got a phone, they could peruse through your messages and read everything. So it enhances privacy, but now you can have control. These days, smart TVs come with parental control settings. You could block some channels that you don't want your child to view. So it helps the parent. So basically innovation is, when these smart TVs were coming, the manufacturers thought of that, having a new perspective. How do we help the people at home? How do we help? They programmed the TVs and planned and manufactured TVs specifically for having a healthy child-to-parent relationship without struggle. I told you, Junior, switch off the TV. I don't want you to watch that channel. But now I can go and block it, and I don't have to quarrel with my child over certain channels. When they find passwords, they know, Daddy, Mommy doesn't want me to see that. Yeah, so for me, that is innovation.
Very interesting concept right there. I guess you can really get to understand what are those key priorities that need to be, of course, looked into, because there is talking about finding problems, solutions, but what is that exact thing that this country needs, where the innovators should really focus if they are developing any innovation coming up? And of course, at this particular time, we are heading into a short commercial break, and of course we shall be returning with more insights regarding the dynamics of innovation, getting to understand further what areas need much emphasis and why in particular those areas in such a time.
SMART24, driving business.
Welcome back from that short break, and of course we are still looking into the dynamics of innovation getting to understand what are the core aspects of innovation in such times of the economy in the country. But this time around, there is a concept in the second part. As we proceed, we shall be reviewing the aspect of the education system in information communication technology. Now, the question is, has the education system, has it performed to the expectations of the students in regarding to equipping them with the knowledge of information communication technology? Or there should be something that should be adjusted within the system to ensure that it's compatible to meet the current innovation demands in the country.
As government fulfills its lot regarding digital infrastructure, it's a great call towards other partners as they use these apparatus to initiate these developments, to let know of the society how its ever-evolving challenges actually have a solution. There could be a possibility that different communities are hidden of this information.
One of it is to put our information out there for the world to see. In communication, we normally say that if you're smiling, we need to see the smile. It's not enough to smile. If you're smiling and you're in the dark, then nobody will see you what? Smiling. So we need to put what we are doing as innovators out there to the intended users to know, to create awareness. So there is more room that higher institutions can do, or there is more room for improvement, especially in disseminating our innovations downwards to the population. I'll tell you that we are having projects around in the various higher institutions, but the users don't know. The people we are trying to create these systems for don't know. So it's important that while we are planning, part of our plan to create these innovations or to come up with these innovations, part of the plan should be how are we going to disseminate this information downwards to the users. There is more room in that direction, in disseminating the information to the users. Whereas we are smiling this side, we are creating systems, and we are so happy about it. This thing should be able to help the farmers. This thing should be able to help the business sector. Does the person selling pancakes down at Owino Market know that there is a system that can help them account for their money? For example, if it's an accounting mobile app, do they know if you're to preach the gospel in that direction, how can they access it? Do they have a smartphone? So it is a series of things that we are doing this side, but also we need to address part of the plan is to disseminate the information about our innovations downwards to the layman, to speak the language they understand. If I say we are making a bee monitoring system down in Noya district, down in Ujiri district, in Luweero, where they are rearing and they are doing a lot of bee farming, do they know about the system? What are we telling them about the system? Okay, it's coming to monitor your bees, so what? How can they benefit from it? So part of the plan in innovation should be, how are we going to disseminate this information? To ask ourselves, where are the people? We need to take our projects, we need to take our innovations to where the people are. Where are the young people? I'm asking the young people because I know that's the 70% of Uganda's population right now. Once you get the young people, the 30% will follow. Once you get the 70% of Uganda's population, the 30% will follow. The young people are on social media. So simply putting it, we need innovators to be on social media, to create hype of their innovations, of their programs, to have platforms where they can engage the users, engage Ugandans. For example, Twitter handles. How many innovators in Uganda have Twitter handles? If they don't have Twitter handles, then they need to create one. They need to have them. They need to have Facebook accounts. They need to have YouTube channels to create videos, to create images, to create awareness about what they're actually doing, to create views. It's important. One, it's publicity. Then two, we now go down to dissemination. Because it's when you create and people know it. I'll give you an example. Coca-Cola has been in business for over 50 years. Last night I was on my television and I watched one of their adverts. The assumption is after 50 years in business, who doesn't know me? Who doesn't know me? But they still advertise even after 50 years in business. So they are smiling, but they're not smiling in the dark. They are putting the smile out there for everyone to see. Everywhere in Uganda, you'll see billboards of Crown Beverages. You'll see billboards of Century Bottling Company producing Coca-Cola. They will tell you great taste, but it's the same taste, even in the 1990s. But they have put their information out there. On social media, you're scrolling through your tweets, and Coca-Cola have an advert there running. A 30-second advert. So it's important that we go where the people are. The strategy is for the innovators to go where the people are. Once you get the 70% going, they will create traffic for the 30% to follow Uganda in terms of population and the demographics. So I'm thinking, go social media, go YouTube right now. Right now, I'll tell you that if you sent out your information using your Twitter handle, it will reach your intended customers faster and earlier than the mainstream media. If I was to put a WhatsApp status for 30 seconds about my product, most probably it would reach the US in 5 minutes than for me to wait to hear the news at 7 p.m. about the same product. So social media adds the element of real time. Something has just happened and in 5 minutes you know what is happening in Imbarara. In 5 minutes. So I would really think innovators, go where the people are. They want to social media, embrace the movement. Yeah, we don't have to meet face to face every time. That's why companies have embraced Zoom, another application using technology. Zoom meetings are everywhere. We have prayer meetings for the religious people. We have prayer meetings on Zoom. We have services on YouTube. So we need to embrace the coming of technology, the movement.
As we delve deeper into these dynamics, is the education system in information technology answering students' expectations?
Really, because like for me as a student, mostly if I wanted to gain the skills, this is something that the institution hasn't paid a lot of attention to it, because the more teachers into the theoretical bit of it, and then me as a student, or even the other colleagues of mine, we have to go onto YouTube or find other resources and do more of the practical bits by ourselves. So I think if the university was to change its way of teaching in more of a skill-based approach, I think it would be a very wonderful thing.
Very interesting insight right there. And of course, according to the student making that remark regarding the education system, how he wishes that it would be much more practical. That's very interesting. As Uganda was launching its first satellite, and the people that built the satellite were Ugandans. And of course, they were graduates, but still they had to go back and study further for them to get more knowledge to ensure that they can construct the satellite very efficiently. So the question comes back, is our education system really up to the top regarding to equipping the students with information communication technology? Because that's also another dynamic that we need to understand before we really think of massive digitization. We need to understand how's the education system, simply because these young children, not children in particular, but these young innovators, as they're being groomed into the universities, before they come out into the real world, they need to get a certain picture. They need to have a certain understanding, a full, complete understanding, not only in the theoretical part, but that understanding that is very applicable, whereby if real challenges are faced in a society, the technology is in position to actually solve them. So that's according to the student right there giving opinions regarding the education system of Uganda. Something should be done about it, and that will be very, very interesting. And that's what we had for you in Smart Tech this week. I'm Andrew Barija, but don't forget, channel 372 on DSTV and channel 394 on GoTV, at Smart24 TV Twitter, Smart24 TV official on Facebook and Smart24 TV Live, as you will be in position to catch us at whatever part of the globe that you will be at as we deliver to you the business information and, of course, technology. Andrew Barije, till next time, goodbye.